Biggest piece of news probably here is Harley Quinn solo movie in huge, like apparently it's a thing now, and I think everybody saw it coming. I don't know.
Yeah, number
Did you?
one, obviously.
Obviously. um, Number two, kind of the word going around is that it's not just going to be her. It's going to be like a team up. Like it's going to
Okay.
be
So, like, kind of like she does in the comics, basically.
right. It's going to be a team up with a couple different girls.
Right.
There's saying maybe Birds of Prey will be involved in it, things like that.
Be interesting.
Which I think that's kind of what you need to do.
Yeah.
Because Harley is definitely going to be kind of your gateway to that.
Right. Right.
Get Poison Ivy in there. Get the Birds of Prey. Get all that stuff in there. Also, kind of what I think is that this is a good opportunity to DC. I don't know how you feel about it, but outside of Guardians of the Galaxy from Marvel, I feel like DC's big advantage right now is that they can have a much looser cinematic universe.
Yeah.
A much looser cinematic universe because with Marvel, everything's tied together, everything has to equal something, and I kind of feel like with this they can be in there, but they can
Right.
kind of just grab these characters and then just do a one-off movie.
Yeah, well, they're already trying. It's not the DC cinematic universe. It's the DC expanded universe.
Oh.
Is what they officially call it. So
Okay, so they
They're
don't call it the cinematic universe.
no, they're already
Okay.
trying to branch away from everything else that
All
DC
right.
or that Marvel has done. So
Which is smart.
yeah, but it's a cinematic universe. I mean, it really is.
It
Like,
is.
but yeah, I mean, like for a Harley Quinn movie, I mean, that's obviously something that was bound to happen sooner or later, just with popularity alone. She's just over the top. But yeah, that's kind of the thing of it, though. Is like you notice in the comics and the shows and all that, she's never been much of like a solo character.
Right.
She can be on her own, but she doesn't. Like Batman, you can have a whole issue, like a whole series about Batman, where it's just Batman because he's just an interesting character. But Harley Quinn, like, not that she's not interesting, but just not quite enough to hold a story. I don't think.
Yeah. Typically an ensemble character.
Yep, she's got to have someone to bounce off of.
Yeah. So hopefully, Ivy would be the
Yeah.
default choice if
Right.
you've
Right.
read a comic or watched the animated series
Mm-hmm.
or seen anything with her involved in the last 20 years.
Right.
And then, like I said, the Birds of Prey, that could be cool.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on which iteration they use.
Yeah.
Is it Oracle in this universe or this expanded universe? Is it?
I'm not sure how that works. Actually, I don't think they've touched on that yet because
Because they were talking in the movie, there was rumors at one point that their Oracle was going to be in
okay.
Batman versus Superman, but obviously that didn't happen.
Yeah,
So
I'd be down for something like that though.
yeah,
Oracle's pretty cool.
her and Black Canary.
Yeah, man.
The rest of the birds going after Harley Quinn. And then we'll just do kind of predictions here while we're on the subject of her. Do you think that movie, Suicide Squad, is going to do better than Batman versus Superman and Civil War? Because Batman versus Superman looks like it kind of stalled out. We're speaking financially.
Yeah.
Kind of stalled out. I don't think it hit $1 billion quite yet. Civil War will hit $1 billion, but probably won't be too much more after that.
Strictly speaking, financially, I can't see Suicide Squad doing better than either of those movies.
Really?
I mean, it looks more fun. It's got more of like a family type element to it.
Yeah.
But there's still characters that are unknown. Like the Joker and Harley Quinn are the two biggest draws to the movie right now. Because yes, Batman is in it, but even in the trailers and all that, you see him for a quick flash. Nobody's gonna be like, "Oh, it's a Batman movie." Nobody's gonna mistake this for a Batman movie. And honestly, I mean, Batman versus Superman is something they've been talking about since what, like 1990.
Yeah.
I mean, that movie's been building up for a very long time. So when it finally landed. It's a big deal. People went and saw it, and then Captain America is obviously like the next Avengers type movie. That's not really an Avengers movie, but the draw to that one is so huge because it's so many characters and it's people that we've been following for so many years, since like 2006 or 2008.
Yeah.
When Iron Man first came out, we've been following these characters through this storyline and up to this point. So I mean, the draw for that movie is going to be pretty huge as well. I don't think Suicide Squad will do better than either one. I would like to see it do better, but I just don't think it's got the driving force behind it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even with all the Harley Quinn fans and
Joker
fans, and
because people are only going to go see the movie so many times. I mean, I was actually reading a thread on Reddit recently that's kind of talking about something similar to this. It was saying that the guy who posted the original thread said he thought Avengers may have been the peak of superhero movies, and that they're not necessarily in decline right now, but they've plateaued and they're gonna start going steep real soon. And a lot of people talked about, well, that's because Avengers at the time that was the only movie of its kind at that time.
Right.
There was no other way to get your Avengers fix. You had to go see it in theaters. And then if you wanted to see Avengers again, you had to go see Avengers again. Now with something like, Age of Ultron, when that comes out, I can go see it. But then if I want to see another Avengers movie, I can go home and watch Avengers,
Yeah.
So the market is kind of at a point where it's a little bit saturated, but it's Suicide Squad, in order to better those movies, has to do something completely new. It has to be the only movie that's ever been like that before, essentially.
Yeah. And already the comparison is going to be drawn, fair or not.
Yep.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Right, exactly.
Just like Batman versus Superman gets the Civil War comparison.
Exactly, yep.
Which I kind of feel people, that's not fair. I do think that that's fair.
Yeah.
I do think that's fair because it's kind of the same thing. It's two opposing factions.
So
that fight.
Captain America Civil War, which boils down to Iron Man versus Captain America, Dawn of Winter Soldier, is not the same as Batman versus Superman, Dawn of Justice, War and Peace, whatever it's called. It is a fair comparison.
Yeah.
Like, totally, absolutely, 100% agree.
Yeah, we're not exactly the same movie.
Nope.
But, and this is also another point. I don't know how you feel about it, but I've read this comic before and I kind of agree with it. I feel that Batman versus Superman hurt Civil War. Because I feel like because it's the first one to jump to that versus idea.
Yeah.
So kind of like by the time they got Civil War, they're like, well, I've had this. You know what I mean? Like not as much excitement around.
A little bit maybe. I can see kind of both sides to it, I guess, or another side where it's tricky to say exactly. I mean, I definitely think it probably would have hurt the box office a little bit because if you go to the movies and you have to choose one or the other,
Yeah.
You're gonna have to choose one or the other. But it's kind of, what am I trying to say here, Kyle?
I don't know what you're trying to say.
It may have hurt Civil War to a point, but I think it also may have geared people up to it as well. Because Batman vs. Superman, for a lot of people, was kind of a letdown. Mm-hmm. And that, even after I saw BVS, I was that much more excited for Civil War because, like I said, Captain America, Iron Man, these are people we've been following for
years,
almost a decade now. Yeah.
Right.
Whereas Batman vs. Superman, I've known about this Superman for a few years, and this Batman is brand new, so it's kind of like introducing its own thing. I mean, so seeing the one first kind of almost geared me up for the other in a sense, but definitely probably hurt its box office a little bit.
It's all relative, all debatable.
Really, it is, yeah.
Yeah.